It's time for the 4th Kunio game on the Famicom, and things are only going to get messier from here. The first game, Nekketsu Koha Kunio-kun, was a straight beat-em-up, and the high school punk hero of that game proved to be such a popular character that Technos Japan used him as the basis of their Dodgeball game. Nekketsu Koukou Dodgeball Buh Sacker Hen acts as a sequel to the Dodgeball game, but really it's the start of a whole sub-series where Kunio and pals play more violent versions of actual sports. A loose translation of that Japanese title could be Passionate High School Dodgeball Club: The Soccer Story. So they're really piling on that title. In this game, the entire high school soccer team came down with food poisoning right as they were going to the national championship tournament. Misako, the soccer team manager, recruits the Dodgeball Club to fill in for them. And so Kunio and company travel Japan, beating up every soccer team that they find. And I do mean beat up. There's apparently no refs for these games. Or if there are, they're definitely not breaking out their yellow cards. Coming to blows with the opposing team is often the best path to victory. On the field, if your team doesn't control the ball, then the B button does a slide kick and the A button does a tackle. You use those to knock players over and steal the ball. Then when your team controls the ball, okay, this is a little bit tricky. Unlike all the other soccer games that we've seen so far, you don't control every player on the team. You control one player, and by default it's Kunio. The focus of the camera always stays on the ball, so sometimes you'll want to check the bottom of the screen to see your position on the field. When you, the player, are in control of the ball, the B button shoots, and the A button passes to the nearest player. When your teammates are in control of the ball, the B button tells them to shoot, and the A button makes them pass the ball to you. Now this system's a little confusing at first, but I think it works pretty well. You're not the team, you're the star player on the team. Even though there's 6 players out on that field, the action still revolves entirely around you. There's 2 more special moves that you can do. Pressing A and B simultaneously will do a super shot. You can't be pressing any direction on the D-pad when you do this, and it goes flying forward at a high speed. If you've taken a certain number of steps since you gained possession of the ball, and then do this move, and slam into people. If you're pushing in a direction and hit A and B, you'll do a flying headbutt. Sadly, this is only good for knocking the ball in. You can't use it to attack. Your teammates are a bit of a mixed bag, and some of it's intentional, some of it's not. There's different recovery rates for when you get knocked down, and one of your teammates takes a very long time to get up. It's 5 to 10 seconds. And your goalkeeper is pretty bad. He can often block one shot, but then lose control of the ball and an immediate shot goes in. The best thing you can do to avoid this is to just not let the ball get down to that end of the field. One quirk of this soccer tournament is you can't just tie, you have to win. There's no overtime or shootouts here. If you're tied at the end of the second half, then you lose. That said, losing is the only way to get a password in this game. If you want to quit playing after you've just had a big victory, you've got to sit there waiting out the next game, intentionally losing it so that you can get your password. At the start of the match, you can assign players to different positions, and you have 4 key strategy choices. Are players going to pass the ball or dribble it up the field? Does the goalkeeper come out to play? How often should your teammates take shots on the goal? And how aggressive should your defense be? There are 6 different surfaces that you can play on, and all of them affect the ball and your own team's movements in different ways. The ball slows down dramatically when you're playing on sand, while playing on concrete makes the game go faster. Naturally, you can play this game 2 players, and you can join up on the same team or play against each other. If you choose to play against each other, then you have to choose among 5 teams, not the 12 that there are in the tournament. Nekketsu Koukou Dodgeball Buh Sacker Hen is pretty well regarded in Japan. Really, all of the Kunio sports games are, but this one in particular seems to have quite a following. It probably helps that it got ported to everything under the sun, and this is the only one of the Kunio sports games that got a sequel on the Famicom. I have a lot of fun with this game, though getting the rhythm down so that you can reliably make shots and avoid your goalkeeper just messing everything up is pretty tricky. It's not a realistic soccer game, but I also think it's the best soccer game the Famicom has seen since Captain Tsubasa.